I'm getting rich, yeah. When I shoot my shot, I don't miss, yeah. I'm too lit, yeah. And my time is all I got. Put a Rolex on my wrist, yeah. I'm in a mix, yeah. Everything hits, yeah. Ain't about the dollars, it don't make no sense, yeah. My main chick is the finest. Side chick got a sidekick. I've been racking up mileage, never closing my eyelids. See my dreams with my eyes open. Got a few, some will die for it. Not the type to go lie for it. I've been better off keeping all of my W's to myself now. A lot of people wanna get inside of my shoes, but they'd have a meltdown. Yeah, this life is not easy. Paranoia start creeping. One day you got everything, and the next day it's all leaving. I know that I signed up for this. Had to make a new bucket list. Seen the world like 2 times, and I'm about to plan out another trip. Got the Porsche, but I'm about to go cop another whip. Lot of blessings been coming in, praying this won't ever end. When I shoot my shot, I don't miss, yeah. I'm too lit, yeah. And my time is all I got. Put a Rolex on my wrist, yeah. I'm in a mix, yeah. Everything hits, yeah. I'm getting rich, yeah. When I shoot my shot, I don't miss, yeah. I'm too lit, yeah. And my time is all I got. Put a Rolex on my wrist, yeah. I'm in a mix, yeah. Everything hits, yeah. Ain't about the dollars, it don't make no sense, yeah. Feels like everybody watching. 808 got the bass knocking. Taking L's, that's not an option. Now I gotta go get it poppin'. No stylist, I do the shopping. Picture perfect, don't do the cropping. Tinted windows for when I hop in. I done seen all the brightest lights come out and shine in the darkest times. And I've been trying to find some peace of mind in this life of mine. Scary thoughts get amplified, better days get minimized. Everybody trying to give advice. Years later they come back and they criticize. I know I'm made for this, I'm well equipped. 10 years I stayed down and I built for this. Too hungry, I kill for this. Lately I've been eating all of the fruits of my own labor. It's not artificially flavored, nah. When I shoot my shot, I don't miss, yeah. I'm too lit, yeah. And my time is all I got. Put a Rolex on my wrist, yeah. I'm in a mix, yeah. Everything hits, yeah. I'm getting rich, yeah. When I shoot my shot, I don't miss, yeah. I'm too lit, yeah. And my time is all I got. Put a Rolex on my wrist, yeah. I'm in a mix, yeah. Everything hits, yeah. Ain't about the dollars, it don't make no sense, yeah. Out of this world, I've been gone. 3, 2, 1, I'ma lift off. I don't play games like Jigsaw. Raised by the wolves, I'm a big dog. Waited my turn for too long. I'ma take over like King Kong. Foot on that gas, no pit stop. 3, 2, 1, I'ma lift off. Stick to the grind and I never gon' stop. Everything I wanted, I already got. They wanna know where I'm headed, I've been on a new level that they haven't unlocked. Everybody think about the money and fame, but I only want one, I don't gotta explain. Nothing worth having is quick to attain, but nobody ever wanna go play the long game. All around the world I've been traveling. Everything I do is extravagant. Taking my time, I'ma let it play out, cause nothing ever happens by accident. It's lonely at the top, I'm an introvert. They always wanna talk, never put in work. I was born to compete and I won't be defeated. I know it ain't a race, but I'm still in first. Out of this world, I've been gone. 3, 2, 1, I'ma lift off. I don't play games like Jigsaw. Raised by the wolves, I'm a big dog. Waited my turn for too long. I'ma take over like King Kong. Foot on that gas, no pit stop. 3, 2, 1, I'ma lift off. I'm taking off like a spaceship out of this planet, but still underrated. I never wanted to go and be famous. All alone, I like to live isolated. I'm trying to get a new crib with a gate and make it so big I don't got any neighbors. Never went Hollywood, did it my way, but I'm still getting gold like I play for the Lakers, yeah. Hop on the track like it's Formula 1. They be getting lapped, I've been on a run. Told me that I never would've made it, but I can't live without it, so I had to get it done. Whoa, switching the flow like a faucet. I make it look easy, I feel like a prophet. They all wanna be me, but I can't be copied. I'm bringing the heat like I live in the tropics. Out of this world, I've been gone. 3, 2, 1, I'ma lift. I still remember the days when I was working for minimum wage. I looked myself in the mirror, told myself I gotta switch up my ways, yeah. Now I'll be living amazing, I'm never gonna be complaining. Turn myself into a boss, 24/7 feel like a vacation. I still remember the days when I was working for minimum wage. I looked myself in the mirror, told myself I gotta switch up my ways, yeah. Now I'll be living amazing, I'm never gonna be complaining. Turn myself into a boss, 24/7 feel like a vacation. I still remember the days, driving delivery, not getting paid. I started rapping and everything changed. Travel to Italy, I celebrate everything that I've been doing. Closing the doors, but I'ma break through 'em. Caught me a foreign, but I want a new one. Look like a tourist, but I'm speaking fluent. Came a long way from my younger life. None of this happening overnight. Put in a decade of work, my resume speak for itself. These rappers be looking like socialites. I'm not a type for comparisons. Allergic to losses like Claritin. Believed in myself, but nobody would. Remember they told me I'm arrogant. I still remember the days when I was working for minimum wage. I looked myself in the...
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. And Jason, you're a little late, buddy. You didn't tell me you were going to be this late this morning.
You know, totally. I'm not going to take the heat for this one. What are you know? You and your shenanigans.
Oh,
I was actually up, ready, and on time early this morning, ready to go.
that's how I should have known that this morning was not going to go to plan when Jason texts me at 7 and is super excited and happy for this stream this morning.
Yeah.
Apparently, chat wants to know what's up with you and your little sports coat this morning.
Hey, I'm trying to represent the Silicon Valley of Michigan.
The Silicon Valley of Michigan. How's the Tesla doing in that weather up there?
Dude, it's amazing. They shipped their holiday update. I got it this morning. Your car doesn't get OTAs, so
how do you know? How do you know?
Because I read. Your car doesn't get OTAs.
Yes, it does. The Mercedes, the Mercedes does. Yeah.
It doesn't get ones like the Tesla.
It doesn't get ones like the Tesla where it completely bricks the car and locks everybody inside and catches fire and then kills everyone.
My car has never gotten bricked. I don't know what you're talking about.
Dosco's got the right idea. I do have at least one car that doesn't need OTAs, and that's the car that I will be keeping forever for when you get charged $29.99 a month for your OTAs.
Hey, everybody's got to pay for updates. Updates ain't free.
Safety isn't free, chat. Safety isn't free.
Right. That's right.
Well, happy Monday morning. Happy last working day. Working week of the year.
I know. I mean, it's like the 15th. You and I have been talking about this. After today, everybody spaces out.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Like, I'm putting in vacation for, like this will be the last working week, and then I'm on vacation last 2 weeks of the year. 100%.
Now, you be careful. Matt's listening.
Oh, I know he's listening. He's aware of what my vacation plans are. We get to this time of the year, and it's like where's Neal? Like, it's definitely a where's Waldo moment for me around here.
Neal's in Florida. He's in Florida, Miami, Florida, somewhere in Florida.
There are 2 times of the year that Matt knows that he can pretty much count that I will not be in the office, and it is peak summertime for Florida tournaments and peak wintertime for Florida golf. Like those, that's it. After that, you can count on me any other time of the year, but when it comes to going to Florida, I got to be in Florida, man. I got to be in Florida.
I don't blame you. I mean, I am already getting sick and tired of the snow and the gray days and the clouds, and we need some sunshine.
We do. We do. Maybe you should move south.
Hey.
All right.
It wouldn't take much to convince me.
All right, real quick, chat. Thank you so very much for your super patience this morning. I do own this. I'll give Jason crap, but I do own this. The painters were supposed to be here promptly at 7 a.m. Eastern time, and I was assured that they would be absolutely and completely and utterly done by the time this stream started.
Who were you assured by? Is there an SLA or a contract in place?
You know,
Inquiring minds. Chat's asking.
This is a fantastic reminder to always get SLAs in writing.
So do you have an SLA with your wife?
She might be watching. Let's not talk about her on stream. All right, with that being said, welcome to Monday Morning Cyber Threat Brief. My name, as always, is Neal Bridges with my co-host, Jason Miller, CEO of BitLift. Happy to be streaming with you this morning. We will probably keep this one short / slightly speedy. Just to try to keep everything back on track and on schedule. We will be co-working after this stream, so do stick around. I got some new co-working dashboards to show everybody. Super excited for the new co-working dashboards today.
Did you vibe code those dashboards?
I did vibe code. We did a session. We did a session in sub chat last night. We had about 6 or 7 of us in there. We were talking about. We were all exchanging, things that we were vibe coding, practices around vibe coding. Hector was in there. Sonic was in there. Beard was in there. Mass was in there. We had a great group of people in there yesterday. We were all kind of sharing stories about what it was we were vibe coding, and it was really nice to see the creativity that really opened up as people were like, yes, I can do this. It was actually really good. It was actually really good.
I was thinking about starting to vibe CEOing,
I don't hate that idea, Jason. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Could get it wrong. You could get it wrong.
I mean, listen, like listen, all CEO is, and Matt would say this, like the CEO's job is to not run out of money.
Run out of money.
Don't run out of money.
Hopefully you keep the train on the tracks.
I think you could vibe code not running out of money.
Yeah. So,
good time. But no, it was good. Yeah, we vibe coded a lot last night, and yeah, there were a couple people who were like, "Oh, I can't believe I'm listening to you guys brag about vibe coding," and it was good. It was really good. I think we're gonna see some awesome stuff. We're gonna see some awesome stuff for sure.
I don't hate it. I don't dislike it. I actually encourage it. I think it opens up the mind to creativity, like what's possible. And then especially in a small group like that, where you get like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and what are you doing? And then what I see you do, kind of gives me some ideas. It's kind of like why we're here today. We're hoping to share and get some ideas.
It is, and I'll say this, like you could hear it in chat last night. There were people who, like one of the guys in chat last night is building an app. Nothing to do with cyber. Absolutely nothing to do with cyber. It's a passion project of his. He homeschools his kids, so it's totally a passion project of his. Because he sees the shortcomings that exist in homeschool. And so he's vibe coding an app to assist other homeschooling parents. So very much a passion project for him. Very smart, but he's not an engineer. He's got friends that are engineers, he's got friends that are dev, and he has built a complete front end and back end that he never, like, it's not that he couldn't do it before, but listen, if you were to assume that it would have taken him 12 months to learn how to do it, he's been able to get it in 12 weeks or less. I don't want to, like, it's, the point is considerably less than he was able to do it in if he had, like, gone and watched YouTube videos, read books on it, grinded through, even taken a course, whatever the case was, and he's able to get up and running in such a short amount of time. But what I thought was super interesting was as we were talking last night, he was learning by doing. So as he was vibing it out, he was picking up the concepts, picking up the strategies, and learning them as he was going. Yeah.
I think that's totally acceptable.
Yeah.
And as somebody that's doing it on their own time on a Sunday night, trying to help their kids. That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's a good usage of AI right there.
It's very good usage of AI. Very good usage. Beard's dying inside. Beard's dying inside. If I had him in my ear, I'm sure he'd be like, he'd be cussing me right now. He'd be cussing me. But with that being said, we are gonna this is our threat brief. Let me hit the rules really fast, Jason, for everybody, as if you didn't already know the rules. Right? No racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, or otherwise toxic behavior inside a chat. We are streaming live across multiple platforms: Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, X. If you are looking for us on LinkedIn, you're not going to find me on my LinkedIn. You're going to actually find us on the BitLift LinkedIn page today. So make sure you are over on the BitLift LinkedIn page. Hit that like over on BitLift LinkedIn page today. We do moderators in chat. Huge shout out to all of our moderators who do keep chat free of any racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior across all the chat platforms. Please do not disrespect the mods. Please tip them. They are here to put up with my shit on a day-to-day basis. They are not here, however, to stifle questions. Matter of fact, the benefit of this chat being live is that we do encourage questions highly, frequently, live in chat, especially as we talk about the latest and greatest cybersecurity threats that Jason and I are tracking for the week. Yeah. And we'll get into those right now. Jason, am I going to beat you to the punch by talking about yet another React for Shell vulnerability?
Oh, my gosh. I was going to bring this up and say, we just discussed it last week. But, I mean... This is amazing to me. So you asked me last week, and I gave you the answer. My answer was, you asked me, hey, should everybody go and update and patch their React right away? My answer was yes, because it was like, holy smokes, this is catastrophic type of material, right? So, I mean, they the types of post-compromise privilege escalation that we're seeing is pretty much off the charts. I mean, and when I say off the charts, it's happening fast. It's happening for more groups. There's at least another 5 or 7 Chinese hacking groups that have picked up on this and start using the exploit that I've been tracking and watching on this. And you just read the news and you read what's going on every day, and you read people talking about what they're seeing in the wild. I mean, it's really, really something.
What I think is awesome about this one is that we're seeing a lot of people put a lot of work into this React vulnerability, specifically to bypass WAFs. Like, there have been so many proof of concept. Like, I've probably tracked 3 or 4 that I'm aware of proof of concept codes that are actively bypassing WAFs. So not only do you have the vulnerability, but there are people who are getting really, really creative in multiple different vectors with which to bypass WAFs at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of different angles that this React to Shell vulnerability, 0-day, whatever you want to call it at this point, is being used in many different angles. And I think that's what's increasing its sort of footprint and scale of usage. You kind of see whether it's a North Korea group like EtherRat, crypto theft from, some Russian groups seem to be using it the exploit. I mean, it's just wild.
So let me ask you this really quick. Over the summer, you and I were talking a lot about some Microsoft vulnerabilities. Yeah. And we had done almost, it wasn't quite 3 weeks in a row, but it was pretty close to 3 streams in a row. Yeah. Where we got hit with one Microsoft vulnerability, then we got hit with another Microsoft vulnerability in the same family, in the same class of vulnerabilities, and then we got a third one right after that. And I remember distinctively, you had said on the stream, you were like, hey, when this happens, when you see one, okay, so be it, second time, like, okay, we pay attention. Do you think there's a third wave of this coming around the corner? Would you bet on a third wave?
I actually think that probably we could see a third, fourth, maybe fifth wave.
You think so?
Yeah, because if you to your point last week, I mean, React is used in a lot of major systems. It's everything from mid-size to large enterprise is using React in one way or another. And it's not something that to your point again last week, it's not something that you can just go out and patch like immediately without maintenance window, communication to other groups in the organization. And so, if you didn't take my advice last week and start the process, this I think we're going to see probably scale even more this week and next week. We're in the peak holiday season, right? So we're in peak Christmas time, peak e-commerce time, and so this is causing problems even inside the e-commerce space, with systems going offline. I mean, I read another stat that this is just helping ransomware, really cross. They figure on everything that they can figure on. Couple of notable sources stitched together that ransomware is up over 4.5 billion this year of paid activity. So when you have something like React to Shell with this React vulnerability taking place, and it's not patched fast, I think that we're going to see multiple waves of this. And to your point, bypassing WAFs, I mean, that's a critical architecture in anybody's diagram, especially as you're out using and consuming cloud services. So this is just one way to bypass, right? If we think about other methodologies that are potentially possible that haven't even been proof of concept yet.
What I think worries me when I see this many WAF bypasses, this is just my take on this, right? Is like yes, whenever there's a web exploitation, they often try to weaponize the web exploitation, and that's usually pretty successful. And then what ends up happening is you build a signature on this, right? Very common signature-based analysis, right? Okay, cool. We've got this exploit. If we can't patch the web host, we'll simply put in a signature into the WAF. When I see one vulnerability, like React to Shell, and I see multiple WAF bypasses, that worries me, because that tells me that there is no one signature that you can use to detect this, that people are finding multiple ways to trigger this thing, which is why I'm very much with you. There is a cascading effect. This is one of the few times where I will definitely sound the alarm that I believe that we're not done seeing React vulnerabilities. And I don't mean like ever. Like, I know we're going to see React vulnerabilities, but I don't think we're going to see, I think we're going to see more of these in the next 30 days for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about it, this is another angle, right, of code injection. This is another angle of abuse on highly used code on servers, right? React is highly used. So
I know BitLift's going to go out and tell all of its customers to redesign all of their architecture away from React today, and they're all going to get that done before the holidays, right?
So yeah, that's impossible.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you have to go to customers with, recommendations and things that make sense. And it's, by the way, it's not cookie cutter. Because everybody's got a slightly different scenario, environment, architecture going on. So you got to go and have a very much of a customized conversation, with everybody.
Yeah. This is one, it's going to get worse before it gets better, chat. It's easy to sit here and say patch, and I know that sounds kind of cliche, but this is one of those times where, like, if you were waiting for a favor to call in to your IT teams, if you were waiting for the favor to call into leadership, like, hey, I've been easing off of you on the pressure when it comes to vulnerabilities for the last 6 months, this is the one where you call in and you're like, hey, this is significant, we got to move on this.
Yeah, I mean, I think patching and also monitoring, I mean, this just continues to sort of emphasize, you need to monitor on your environment. You can't just, trust that your environment's safe and secure. I mean, this year, if you just think about it, the amount of 0 days that have come out, I'm sort of curious. The other thing I was looking at over the weekend was is this year 2025 going to be sort of a a record year for 0-day activity? And there was some consensus that people thought that yeah, it was, and some other researchers in the cybersecurity space, but it's always hard because stats are stats, right? The data isn't always perfect on statistics because you don't always get all the reports, you don't always get all the data. But from what we do have and what other researchers are talking about, it does look like we are going to be at a high year, maybe in the high 95 percentile, if not higher, of 0 days this year.
Oh, I'd bet a solid steak dinner on that. Like this year feels like a year where not only do we have more 0 days, attacks felt faster. Like I can remember us talking about automation in January, automated attacks in January. And it feels like if you look at like January's speed of attacks versus like what we're seeing with this react to shell stuff today, the speed is off the charts. The speed is just bonkers.
And I think a lot of it is to do too. The tooling is there, so you have AI, you have the idea and the concepts around vibe coding, right? I would not put it past you if you think about you as 6 or 7 people last night working through vibe coding on legit projects. Just think about if there were 6 or 7 people last night vibe coding on what I'll call non-legitimate projects.
Yeah, 100%.
Our adversaries, totally possible. And there's plenty of forums to read out there about how AI is still exposing it when it shouldn't, right? I mean, it's not perfect either.
Well, I'll tell you, there is one company for sure that is absolutely looking out for everybody and trying to push them into a better security posture, especially based on their latest article, Microsoft.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Microsoft is going to bundle Security Copilot with M365 enterprise licenses, and that of course is going to solve all of these security challenges, Jason.
You throw more money at them. They're like, hey, you need the E5 licensing. Come buy the most, it's not the most expensive licensing, but it's up there, right? What is it, $85 or $87 per user per month?
And that doesn't count all the add-ons that you'd need if like you wanted to bolt on Intune, or if you wanted to bolt on XDR, or if you wanted to bolt on Sentinel, or if you wanted to bolt on Purview.
Yeah. Oh, those are all a la carte. You're at Roost Chris. Oh, did you want the steak with your asparagus? Oh, that is a la carte. I'm going to deliver it to you with the little white, napkin over my arm. Oh yeah, Microsoft is doing that to its folks.
It's funny because I saw this article, right? And this article, again, like it's super weird because I do think, like, I'm starting to buy into your conspiracy theory around Microsoft because I see this one where it is clearly positioned that Microsoft is so confident in Copilot that they're packaging it with everything. But then I'll see another news article from last week or the week before where Microsoft is telling people that sales are down or not to push, AI as hard during the sales pipeline, or that they're not seeing the adoption on Security Copilot that they were hoping to see. And so it's like, so are they not seeing the adoption, and are they changing sales goals? And so they're just going to continue to give it away for free to force people to use it. Like, are we seeing, the question becomes, and this is the question I know a lot of my AI haters in chat are going to love to hear me ask out loud is, are we seeing the cracks of AI's usefulness in cyber if Microsoft is indeed backing down on it, off of it, or are we just seeing Microsoft's typical license capitulation where they shove it down everybody's throat and then upcharge you for it later?
I was waiting to see what Chad had to say. Man, I think it's probably it's hard to say because I had actually see both arguments. I think I remember the days when they launched, Exchange Online, and it was $3 per user per month, and everybody flocked to it because they thought, well, we can't even do, our own exchange hosted anymore. You can't even store the data for $3 per user per month.
Yeah,
and then now you can't even touch it, for that price. I would absolutely say that you've got sort of both camps playing. And I used to say that AI and it was a lot like running into a dark room and not sure if there was a floor in that dark room.
That's a good analogy.
I said that at a conference about 2 years ago from the stage, and I was honored to be sort of one of their speakers that day, and I got a lot of just kind of stares, not sure what that analogy meant, but the reality here is there's still plenty of unknowns around it. You have Google, pushing Gemini on everybody, and even though you go in and sort of turn it off in the admin portion of it, it still is summarizing your emails and still,
Well, but here's where I differ with this one, right? Google's not trying to shove it down everybody's security throats, right? They're not packaging it with SecOps. They're not packaging it with Simplify. They're not packaging it with Mandiant isn't shoving it down people's throats, right?
Yep.
Microsoft is quite literally baking it into the fundamental business tier and shoving Copilot security down everybody's throats.
They want everybody. Here's the thing: is they want everybody using it, because the only way that you're going to know whether the product works or not is if you get people using it, and then you learn people's usage. Well, how are you going to do that? You're either going to have to make it free for a while, or you're going to have to try and sell it to people. Well, if people aren't buying it because they're still super cautious of it, I mean, you can see the writing on the wall there. I think it's probably 60-40 if I had to really put a number on it.
Yeah.
If I was part of the board meetings and part of the meetings behind the scenes, I would say that people aren't buying it as quick as they thought they would, and they also need users using it.
I think it's a lot of the latter. I think there's been a lot of. I think that AI security talk has shied a lot of people away from adopting it. And I'm not here to decide whether that's right or wrong, whether that's good or indifferent. I'm not here to decide that. But I think Microsoft has sat back and said, if we gave people a choice on whether to implement AI or not, they would opt out of AI.
Yeah.
And Microsoft's like, sorry, that doesn't work. I mean, they've spent $500 billion or something like that on their OpenAI investment. They constantly are, they're churning out infrastructure to actually physically support OpenAI's infrastructure and whatnot.
Absolutely. And
so they have a fiscal incentive to encourage people to encourage is probably giving them more credit than it's worth, right? But they
aren't encouraging anything; they are demanding.
Demanding, right?
Demanding.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. Yeah, I'm right there with you on that one. That they need users with that type of investment. They need everybody, and they need everybody using it.
I don't think that Microsoft is horrible for doing it. Let me just be expressly clear. You could have a couple of different parenting styles, right? All my parents out there, you can have a couple of different parenting styles. You can either lead the horse to water and see if it drinks, or you can say hey, it's available here if you want it, and if you don't want it, you don't use it, whatever the case is. And I don't think I fundamentally hate Microsoft leading the security industry towards it. I just wish that Microsoft products weren't so crappy in doing so.
Yeah. Well, on the talk track of Microsoft here.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, I knew you've got a Microsoft plug in here somewhere.
There was another, bonanza week last week of 0 days, and so hopefully you caught the announcements of last week's Patch Tuesday. It was their final, at least from what we understand, it was their final Patch Tuesday for 2025. And hopefully you were right in line and ready for the 57, flaws that they called across the Windows, Office, Exchange, and other plethora of products that had 0 days that they had to patch. There is still including 0 days that exist that are not patched. And I mean, there is like a major privilege escalation bug in the Windows Cloud Files mini filter driver, right? I mean, how do you sort of let that stuff go?
You say this though. Like I think you aggregate your Microsoft hate. And if we don't allow you a therapy session every week to let out your Microsoft hate, I think you just come in here and you're just like, I'm just poo-pooing on Microsoft because I haven't had a therapy session on Microsoft in a couple weeks.
Maybe I need therapy on this, but I mean, I just cannot believe like the level of garbage that gets shipped.
You would think that like making an operating system for 100 million, people across the globe is an easy task. Why don't they just vibe code security into it?
I would. Just kidding.
Listen, I will be the first to run to Microsoft's defense on vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Because like you, I was around when it was way worse than it is today.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
There were months, years even, where Microsoft would allow full-blown remote code execution vulnerabilities with known exploits in the wild with constant exploitation happening.
Yeah.
Exist without saying a single thing about it.
Yeah. Well,
and so like when you're at that level of an operating system, life is hard. Life is hard.
Yeah. Well, but you wanted the 100 million users. You knew it was coming. Sales were coming. So why didn't you get yourself ready to be able to properly support the 100 million users?
Oh, this is news to me, Jason. I didn't realize that you were in the room when these business decisions were going on, where they all sat around the table and said, you know what? F security. We're not interested in this. Let's line our pockets with shareholder value. I wasn't aware that you were in those rooms, Jason. Please enlighten us to those secret shareholder conversations.
Yeah, it probably was, line our pockets. All right, so we'll move on.
I need a Gotham scene changer. I need a Gotham scene changer for when Jason does these little things. I just want to press it and go like, got him.
Yeah. We'll get you some new equipment, and then you can have those, whammy moments. Yeah.
I love you, Jason. I love you.
Yeah.
I think there is one company that you and I share hate for. We're just upset that they haven't made the news in a while.
Yeah. Well, CrowdStrike has been, laying low, sort of, kind of. There is this one topic. Okay, so let's shift into this, right? You remember last year, I was at the airport, was trying to get somewhere. It was July. Our friends over at CrowdStrike had a little bit of an issue, caused the FAA and Delta and a whole bunch of others, lots of problems. So been doing some reading, right? Been doing some understanding. Also have been looking at customer environments. And wouldn't you know that after that, CrowdStrike says that they improved the way that they do memory injection and embedding with their EDR agent.
Okay.
And it is supposed to avoid, right? It avoids the traditional injection hooking. And so now, right, get this. And I don't mean to bring us back to where we just left, but it relies on Microsoft standard API like callbacks, the process manager, registry filtering, event tracing for monitoring, in that user mode components, what's called a protected process light, PPL, anti-malware scanning interface, AMSI, and instead of doing the DLL code injection, right? So if you're asking yourself, why lately, maybe over like, say, the last 6+ months, has CrowdStrike's ability to detect malware, ransomware, and other types of malicious, nefarious activities, one of the things is that they actually stopped doing direct injection at the memory level. So they're not doing that anymore. However, you still have your folks over at SentinelOne that they are still doing direct memory injection. Wouldn't you know it, Microsoft Defender still does direct memory injection. And others like Silence Protect, whom, is an organization that we use. I'll openly say that. But I just thought it was kind of interesting that, you sort of wonder why a CrowdStrike is
what's your conspiracy theory, Jason? What you got?
Well, I don't think that they're maybe doing as good a job as they once were. And they didn't come out forthright and publicly say, hey, we're not going to do direct DLL memory injection anymore, that we're going to rely on Microsoft standard API callbacks and use the Microsoft, methodologies to watch the Microsoft system.
So is it your running theory that they're deferring risk, that if something breaks in the future, it's because of a Microsoft API?
Oh, wouldn't you?
Are you saying that they're trying to make it not their problem?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Long-winded way to say that CrowdStrike is going out of their way to not make it their problem if they crash the entirety of Delta Airlines in the near future.
Yeah. But this is like, people ask us, how do you choose your EDR? What was your process? What was your
and I was about to ask that. Do you think that this is what's led to the rise of some of that EDR free stuff, specifically centered around Microsoft, or excuse me, around CrowdStrike? Is their change to TTPs in terms of how they behave inside the operating system?
100%.
So the real point that you're trying to make is you think this is why we're now seeing a bunch of EDR evasion.
Yep. Yep. Because Microsoft couldn't do a good job at detecting it before.
Yeah.
And so now what you see is you see EDR agents relying on the Microsoft abilities. Microsoft didn't have great abilities before. This is one of the whole reasons why at one point we had a great time where the EDR agents they would come out and they all sort of started off. I wouldn't say all, maybe not all of the vendors, but a good majority of your top branded vendors did memory embedding, DLL injection. And it is because they didn't want to be beholden to somebody else to do detection. They wanted their own methodology. Wouldn't you? I mean,
well, but I mean, it's pretty well known that you've got to be at that layer to get to a lot of these deep embedded malware samples anyway.
100%. I mean, if you want to know what's going on in the kernel,
that's right.
You've got to be at the kernel level.
That's right.
If you want to know what's going on at the memory level, you got to be embedded in the memory.
Yeah.
And yes, it comes with risk. So CrowdStrike here looks like they're trying to de-risk themselves.
Yeah.
The problem with that is, and we all need to understand it, is that is how malware evasion is going to actually happen.
Once you start, this is going to sound really crass, but I'm going to put it in a little bit more pointed fashion. Once you start to care about your impact on the endpoint, you have to start to de-risk some of your risky behavior to compensate for usability.
Yes.
And that inevitable compensation for usability ultimately leads to security issues.
Yes. I think we need to drive this point home. So you can actually have the conversation around risk. Totally acceptable. But when you are trying to mitigate risk and you're trying to move in the other direction there, and you are going to lose visibility and you're going to also lose some reliance, meaning you're going to put more reliance on technology that you don't own, right? So in this case, some of the vendors in the space, i.e. CrowdStrike, is putting more reliance on that Microsoft's process manager and other methodologies, right, is the proper methodologies in order to do detection.
Right.
But at the same time, if they don't have their direct mode anymore, if they're not doing DLL injection, and if they're not putting the hook there, well, you have to ask yourself, they are not actually the ones doing the detection anymore straight up.
Why don't you just go to Microsoft at that point in time?
100%. So if you hire a security company and they have cameras and in your environment, and then you come to find out that they offloaded the workload to somebody else, and there's now a third party in place, that's what this is. And so when you call them, they have to pick up the phone and call somebody else. What does that sound like to you?
Jason, I think this is one of your most profound moments, and I can't wait to see the Gartner report next year where Gartner realizes that CrowdStrike doesn't detect anomalies nearly as well as it did before. Because we all know Gartner can be relied upon to do that.
Well, take this one more step further. Essentially, CrowdStrike is relying on right? The exact same ways Microsoft Defender is relying on to do detection.
That's right.
So the thing is when you deep dive into the Microsoft Defender for endpoint, it says that there's instrumentation involved, but see, they own the DLLs, right? They should be able to play well with the DLLs.
But they do. I would argue that Defender plays pretty well inside, if you've got a true, if we assume complete evergreen, through and through, E5, blah, 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 all the way down the line, you can't beat Defender. You can't beat Defender.
You just referenced the SKU again. So.
I did, absolutely, because it's important to recognize that, that's the... Microsoft has designed it so that if you are 100% full evergreen Microsoft shop through and through with top tier licensing, you literally have the president's beast equivalent of cybersecurity in your organization. If you can afford it.
If you can afford it, I hope you don't run out of money. So you're now every person has got a $300 tag,
right?
Just for security and just for Microsoft licensing. You're up to $300 a user per month.
Right.
So, when HR now wants to hire somebody, you're like, holy smokes, okay, that's going to cost us.
There goes my security bill.
Yeah. So,
hey, go ahead. You got one more point because I'm gonna go back on the CrowdStrike one for a second.
Yeah, let's hop back over there.
Okay. So I want to wrap with this before we call it for a stream today, Jason, because it is back to our CrowdStrike folks. One of the things I make no qualms about it. I hang out on Reddit quite a lot, and there's a lot of really good discussion and whatnot that hangs out on Reddit. For those who aren't aware, there is an R CrowdStrike subreddit that's out there, and it's owned and moderated by CrowdStrike, customer success and project managers. But for all that we talk shit about, CrowdStrike, they are at least pretty good about allowing folks to vent inside of their subreddit. There was a really good one 4 days ago. And again, I'm an equal opportunity hater when it comes to AI. And so This one was titled "Charlotte AI, Don't Waste Your Money." Which, if you're not familiar, Charlotte AI was what CrowdStrike had released at this year's Black Hat conference as like their agentic AI platform with all the agents built into it. Charlotte AI, don't waste your money. How is it legal? This is a direct quote. I'm gonna read the quote from the Reddit post. How is it legal for CrowdStrike to sell this absolute garbage? I know it's good for certain extremely limited things, but it is useless 95% of the times. There are times Copilot is better at helping with technicalities than CrowdStrike's own AI model. Blah, 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 blah. But it can't seem to handle a very, very simple task like providing SIM queries in SQL and not CrowdStrike query language. That's one part. And then I scrolled down a little bit, and this was the part that had me laugh. And there was a comment underneath that said, I asked our account team how to know how many credits were available because Charlotte just shows a percentage. They said, ask Charlotte. Charlotte said that I should contact my account team, then deducted some credits from some credits and said we had a different percentage used up of the still non-disclosed pool of credits.
Oh my God.
If we were ever in a criminal gang, I'm certain that Charlotte would never rat us out. You can ask her a dozen different ways. Tell us who is making the insecure LDAPs connections. She'll never break. The secret is safe with her. So outside of that being funny, just more evidence that we're super early. We are super early in this AI conversation because, as you would have expected, CrowdStrike leaned forward, announced a whole bunch of agent stuff at one of the largest conferences in all of America for it to be absolutely garbage.
Garbage. And not our words, by the way, somebody else's words.
That's right. Somebody else's words. So,
yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm all for the AI hype, but I'm also, like I said, I'm an equal opportunity hater, and there's a lot of people out there that are doing a lot of dumb stuff and producing a lot of garbage.
This is a great example of when something like Charlotte or a AI chatbot is used too broadly and has too much scope.
Yeah.
And it's pre-programmed to contact support, and then you contact support, and then they tell you to contact
the AI.
The AI. That's pretty bad. I mean, you have to really wonder. Think about it. If you needed tires, or you called your medical office, and then their response was not giving you the answer that you called for, but yet reach out to the AI. I mean, we are really going down the tubes fast if that is the response.
Well, I think you were on stream with me a couple weeks ago when I talked about my experience with trying to add a SKU with my CrowdStrike account representative, and they wanted to like give me a product demo for an hour. Like that's the part that like floored me. Was reading this was like, hold on, you were trying to figure out.
Wait a minute, that was CrowdStrike you were dealing with? Because I don't think you said the vendor.
Was it? Maybe it wasn't. I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Chat, did you just catch that? We're a couple weeks later. We finally unearthed the stone that he was not willing to turn over a couple weeks ago.
Anyway, doxed,
yeah. You were on the phone with CrowdStrike trying to get your rep, and they wanted to give you an hour-long prezo.
Yeah, clipped. I'll get owned on that one. Whoopsie.
Boy.
But I do think that like this is one where I'll side with the no AI crowd in chat. Like this is definitely some no AI drops inside of inside chat on this one. But when you as a customer success org tell your customers to go ask the feature about the status of the feature, that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah. Not only is it bad, but it tells you that nobody knows.
No.
And so if that's the case, well then you just have to ask yourself, was the feature even really real?
Yeah. Was the feature, did the feature bring any value to the customers?
Correct.
All right.
So I don't know. I guess we're on a limited time session today.
We are.
You better, put the drapes and the plastic and the visqueen back up.
That's right. No, they're gone. They're gone now. No, but we this is an abbreviated one today, Chad, and that's my fault. I own that. Don't worry, we've got one more stream, I think, for the rest of the year. Next Monday we'll have one more stream. I thought we had 2 streams.
I
thought next Monday would be the last one of the year.
Is it?
I don't remember.
What's the is that the case? Shoot, I need to look at the calendar.
Me too. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah. No, we have 2. We got the 22nd.
We do have 2. Yeah, we do have 2. Okay, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
The 22nd, the 29th.
Yeah, we do got 2 more to go. All right, so see, we're fine. We can have a short one today. We can have a short one today. Psh, you're fine. You're fine.
No, there's going to be lots of good stuff. I'm sure we're going to see more React. I'm sure we're going to see some more 0-day activity. I'm sure we're going to see some more ransomware, and the e-commerce stuff is going off the charts.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to be excited. We might see another Target, Home Depot. We might see some exciting stuff. No. I'm gonna make a bet. If we were doing prediction markets, I would say we're not going to see a major breach for the rest of the year. We'll see more exploitation, but I don't think we'll see a major breach. All right.
No major breach.
Right. Keep your eyes and ears open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to send you on, Jason. I'm going to talk to my chat really quick. I'll see you next week. All right, chat. Thanks again. And again, I appreciate the patience. We are going to transition to a co-working stream. If you've not participated in a co-working stream, do hang out for a co-working stream. We haven't done one in a while. I'm going to send YouTube and LinkedIn along the way. So YouTube and LinkedIn